Hey everybody, and welcome back to Grey County Grillin'. I'm Chris, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own Montreal smoked meat at home using a whole brisket. So we've got the brisket here. I've already trimmed it down as best I can. My trimming skills are not the best, so I did as good as I could, but I think it'll be just fine for what we need it. So you're just gonna trim it like you're going to just straight up smoke it. So it's not anything different than that. But the next step is to cure it for 8 days. And we've got some cure here in the bowl. And the cure is about 8 ounces of black pepper, 5 ounces of whole cloves, 4 ounces of cracked coriander seed. We've got about 4 ounces of white sugar, 3/4 of a cup of kosher salt, and then 10 bay leaves all crumbled up. And that is what it looks like after you've done all of that. So what we're going to do is put this cure over top of the brisket, both sides, and then it's going to sit in the fridge for 8 days, turning twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. Also in the cure, this is an important part, 3 teaspoons of curing salt prog powder number 1. You want to make sure that you put that in there to make sure the meat is safe once you're done with it. So I'm going to get this put on. I'm not going to put that on camera because it's going to be an absolute mess, but I'll show you what the brisket looks like once we've got the cure on. And there is the brisket with the cure on it. Now I don't have any kind of storage container big enough to handle an entire brisket. This thing was almost 20 pounds before I trimmed it. I probably trimmed about 3 pounds off, so it's still quite big. And I'm going to use a garbage bag as the vessel to hold it while it is curing for those 8 days. So I will put that into the garbage bag and come right back and show you how that looks. And here is the brisket inside its garbage bag. And this is where it's going to stay for the next 8 days in the fridge. Like I said, we're going to flip it once in the morning, once at night, and after 8 days, we should be ready for the smoker. So last time you saw the brisket, we were putting it away for the cure, and we have let it go for 14 days. I know I said 8 in the original, but because this is a larger brisket, I wanted to let it go longer so that the cure would have more time to get right through all the way to the center. So next we are going to get some seasoning on it. First, before we do this, I did have it sit in the sink and soak for about 2 hours, and that will hopefully pull any of the salt or any of the excess salt out of the meat left over from the cure so that we don't end up with super salty Montreal smoked meat. So we're going to use some Montreal steak spice and some blackened Saskatchewan rub. All right, then we're gonna flip this over and then we'll get the other side done. All right, we've got the brisket on. I'm just doing it quickly because it is raining out and it's not very good, so I didn't plan this too well, but there's the brisket on, all rubbed. I've got fat side up here. I don't think it's gonna matter too much. I might just give it a flip just to get the fat side down, but I trimmed off most of the fat, so I'm not too worried. Anyway, we've got it on the smoker. I've got the Minion method. We're gonna be running at about 225. Hopefully that is the target temperature. And a bunch of chunks of pecan wood. That is what we're going to use for this. And we're looking for an internal temperature of about 165. That is all we're looking for on the smoker today. Then after that, we've got the next step. So the weather has improved drastically since I got the brisket on. And we've got sunshine, it is gorgeous, and we can finally take a proper look at the setup that I've got going on here. So let's open the smoker up. We're gonna take a quick look. All right, so I did end up flipping it because like I said, I had the fat cap on top but I want to have it down on the bottom. With the brisket, you always want to have the fat cap facing the heat to kind of act as, you know, a buffer. Because you can see here, the bark is already starting to form on the top. So, it makes sense to have that flipped over and just protect the rest of the meat with the fat cap. Anyway, this is how it looks, and I've finally got a temperature probe in it. I'm just gonna put the lid back on so we don't lose too much heat. There we go. So like I said, we are going to smoke this till we get an internal temperature of 165, and then we will pull it off, take it inside, and then we're going to steam it for the last little bit. And that kind of is the secret to making proper, excellent Montreal smoked meat. So we'll let it go for a little bit. It's only been on for maybe an hour and a half now. So we're gonna let it go for a little bit longer and we will check back in. Hey, we have reached 165 internal temperature on this brisket, so it is time to get it off the smoker. But first, let's take a look and see what we are dealing with here. Oh, that looks great. Yeah, that has some good bark on it. Oh yeah, that looks great. So the next step is to get it over onto the steamer and move on with that. So we've got the brisket out. We now have it in a roasting pan, and as you can see, it is too big. So we're going to just kind of improvise a little bit and just put some foil over and seal it up. So I've got the brisket on a rack in the bottom. It's going to lift it up a little bit, and then I've got some water down in the bottom as well, because we are going to steam this, and that is going to help tenderize this meat and render that fat out, and it is going to be awesome once it gets steamed. So I'm going to get the foil on, and we'll come back and get ready for the next step. All right, we've got it sealed up nice and tight with tin foil, 3 layers of heavy duty foil on there, so that should get everything sealed up nicely. Next, we are going to fire up the gas grill. I'm only going to use burners 2 and 4. And I'm not going to put them on high. I'm going to turn them down fairly low, I think, because we want this to steam, but we don't want it to boil away. So we've got the ThermoPro plugged in and ready to go, and we've got the grill on. So it's going to take a little bit of fiddling around, I think. We're just going to be going by the dome thermometer here. Hopefully around 300 will be about 250, you know, on the brisket level. So yeah, we're going to just let this go until about 195 internal temperature, and then we'll start probing for tenderness, and hopefully we can get exactly what we're looking for. We have been steaming for about 2 hours now. It's up to 186 internal temperature, so that really helped bust through the stall, because before we brought it over here, it was stalling and stuck and barely moving, so I'm glad that things are moving along. And I did add about 2 cups more of water about an hour ago, and I'm just going to take a look again. So I did turn 1 more burner on, so I've got 2, 3, and 4 on, just to help it, you know, heat up and get that water going. So we're going to add a little bit more water. Just in there. I just got another cup that I'm going to dump in. Here we go, because we do not want this to boil dry while it's steaming. And I gotta say, it is smelling exactly like Montreal smoked meat, which is good, because I wasn't sure if this was gonna turn out properly or not. So I'm glad that it is. We probably got about another hour to go. Once we get to 195, I'm gonna start probing it to see how tender it is, and hopefully we're not too far away. All right, we are at 195 internal temperature on the brisket, so we are going to open it up. we are going to peel back this tin foil here. Oh yeah, there we go. And I got my trusty Inkbird instant read thermometer here. We're just going to probe to see how tender it is. Just a little bit of resistance yet. Yeah, so we're not quite there. So we're going to get this all back on as best we can. All right. Okay, we're gonna have to give it a few more minutes, and I think we'll check back once it gets up to about 201. I think we're at 201 now, so we will open it up. We'll take another look. Pull this tin foil back. Oh, this smells so good. Oh yeah, there we go. I think we are good. What does the probe say? Yeah, we are good. So we're gonna take this off, take it inside, and what I think I'm gonna do is put it in the fridge wrapped in some saran wrap overnight, and then we'll end up slicing it in the morning. Okay, it is the next day, and I've got the brisket out from the fridge. It has sat there all night, so I'm hoping it makes it a little bit easier to slice it. Let's get in there. All right, that is what she looks like. I gotta say, it's got the coloring of Montreal smoked meat. Comes apart real easy, so yeah, it cooked really well. Right, the flavor is really good. However, it tastes more like corned beef, I think, than Montreal smoked meat. So I'm not sure where I went wrong. I mean, it still tastes really good, but yeah, it definitely tastes more like corned beef than Montreal smoked meat, I think. But that's really good. Quite enjoyed that. So yeah, I've got my work cut out for me if I'm going to be slicing this for sandwiches. But yeah, there you go. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate that. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Leave me a comment down below. I love reading them. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so I get notified every time, or so you get notified. I did that mistake last video too. So you get notified every time I upload a new video. And don't forget my Amazon affiliate links. They're all down in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.